Hello and welcome back to my garage here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. And wow, dudes, it's episode number 100. When I started doing this, never crossed my mind I would get that far. I did receive a request to do some Porsche vehicles and hopefully an RX-7 or two, which I fully intend to fulfill. This is a Porsche 911 RS America, which I bought in my last trip to the Junkyard. I have at least one more of these in storage. I also have another Porsche 959 and some other modded Porsches, the 911 GT2 I think. So I will definitely be able to do some Porsches here coming up. I'm going to have to look for an RX-7. I don't think I have any to work on. Back there, I moved the Chevy Colorado back there. I still want to do it, because that was a Junkyard find. I don't want to make it pretty. That blue thing over there is a Lotus Elise, which I picked up because they added some i4 tuning parts, and I want to see what it behaves like with some tuning parts added, if they have anything for that car. I don't even know. But I decided what I'm going to do for this 100th episode is make myself a whole lot of money. So I have two of these. I had two of these Lamborghini Centenarios in storage. These are the carbon fiber one. This one is currently $222,000 at this level of where it's at. The other one is about 300 grand. Come on, oops. 318. So a little over $500,000 on these cars as they sit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild both of them and sell them and see how much we get. And it should be a very nice chunk of change, since you can cosmetically fix up these cars and make a lot of money just doing that without even doing the mechanical work. But we will do that as well. I don't think I need to get that. And they don't actually have a lot in the way of body parts that you have to worry about. It's just that the body parts that you do have to buy for them are staggeringly expensive. And I have done a bunch of pre-work. I've done some pre-work on these cars already. Oh yeah, I have to get those off. I replaced the ABS and the brake servo and the battery. This mod does not have a fuel tank in it. Apparently the car doesn't need to have a fuel tank to be functional. So, and it also doesn't have its own exhaust pipes. It just has the pieces that come off of the engine, which is a Pagani engine, by the way. I also have, I've already done the interior. I put in the steering wheel and the seats. So we have, all I need to do now is fix the frame. Which I love, fixing a carbon fiber frame with a welder. Now I think what I'm going to do is just ditch these. There aren't enough of these bits to fix up one car, and if I try to repair, I can probably repair some of them, but if I do, it's just going to make me go back and forth to the store, to the car, to the store, to the car, and I want to just get them built out. For a second I was afraid I didn't spell that correctly. We're going to buy two of everything. And I did run the numbers on these at one point, because these parts are the most expensive body parts that you're going to see if you have this mod anyway. Like that front bumper is $90,000. It's the same thing for the rear bumper. The cheapest things are like those body windows. Since I have the max level skills, however, I get like a 15% discount or whatever it is on store purchases, which saves me a bit of money. I figured I tracked it at one point, wrote everything down on a notepad, and totaled it all up. And even with my discount, buying a full set of body parts for these cars is about $675,000. I'd have to look. I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what it is. I'd have to look at my notepad again to make sure. But it's keep in mind that these cars were about, as they sat when I started, they were about 500 grand for the two of them, and we just spent about $1 million, $1.4 million, give or take, buying all these parts. And we'll see where they are when all these bits are on. Gonna need to buy another plate. Okay, so the body on both of these should now be at 100%. Yep. And the car is now worth $1.8 million. So that's not too shabby. And this one is also worth the same price. The mileage on this was 8,300 miles. This one is 6,200 miles. So they're about the same. Now, when you paint these, all you're painting is like the trim, and this one is like this. I'd like to see if I can crank up the brightness of that yellow a bit. Yeah, that works. It might even be about the same, but I'm going to go with it. Yeah, that's already 100%. I looked at that. Whoop, keep pushing the wrong button. So let's go ahead and we'll paint this one the same way. I think the factory color on this one is like a blue. Or no, it's not. So we'll do the same that I just did to the other car to this one. There. So right now, I mean, we could sell both of these for 1.8. So it would be like $3.6 million. As it is right now, just for the two of these. Now, the modder used a lot of the Pagani stuff on this. It has the Pagani wheels and the 12-cylinder Pagani engine. I hope at some point they throw out a actual Lamborghini DLC. I'd like to see the real Lamborghini engines and whatnot in here, or something approximating them anyway. because most of the Lamborghini mods that you're going to see are pretty good. I mean, I've done the Countach and the Huracan and the Aventador and the Centenario and the Diablo, and they're all, I think they're mostly done by different modders, but they all did a reasonably good job. I think the Countach is my favorite. That's the classic one. This is a pretty simple mod to rebuild. It has double wishbone suspension. It doesn't have any cross members or axles to deal with. I am going to change the wheels to something else, because I looked at the Centenario on Wikipedia to see the pictures of the real car, and the wheels that they have are like a 5-blade wheel with like, not spokes, but like fat, not even fat, but wide blades, I guess, and they're kind of canted a little bit, so they look sort of like an aircraft propeller, except that they're fairly wide. They're not skinny like an actual propeller blade. And there is a rim in the collection in the Rims DLC that looks reasonably close to it. It's not exact, but it's better, I think, than the Pagani rims. Plus the pictures that I looked at, the rims were kind of like they were kind of like a satin silver gray finish, and I can sort of approximate that. Looks reasonably good, I think. I did also, I mean, I noticed also when I was reading up on this particular car that Lamborghini built 40 of them. There's 20 of each. There's two models, I guess, and they built 20 of each. I'm not sure which one this particular mod represents, but if you count all 40 of them as one production, these two cars are like the 4th and 5th ones that I have worked on, which means that I have, at this point, rebuilt and resold more than 10% of the entire production run, which kind of amuses me. I'm gonna kind of buckle down and get everything out here, because it will be fairly easy to buy all the parts that we need to replace everything. The thing that's gonna take a little bit of extra time is gonna be mounting and balancing all the tires, and so I'm gonna have 8 of them to do, as well as painting all of them, which will be a little bit tedious, I admit. But that's the way the game is played. I don't actually, I mean, I don't really believe in doing like time-lapse stuff myself. I watch some people's time-lapse videos. I don't watch a lot of them, because a lot of them to me just feel like they're trying to make sort of generic Europop music videos set to Farming Simulator or whatever. And there are some people whose time-lapses I enjoy watching because they are doing interesting things, but I'm not interested in the music that they've chosen. And it finally occurred to me that I can mute the audio on the video player and turn on something else. So I was watching somebody's time-lapse video earlier today, and I turned on the radio to a classic rock station. So I was watching this guy do his farming work to the sounds of Europe's The Final Countdown, which I just thought was really... it amused me to no end. So if at any point going through all these things becomes a little bit tedious, I encourage you to pick some music that you enjoy listening to if you want to keep watching. Of course, the real trick with these two cars is to, I mean, I don't have any particular interest in keeping one of these. I got these solely for the paycheck. They're very expensive cars, and mainly what I do when I play this game is I buy cars, I rebuild them, and I sell them. I do have a personal collection of cars, but for the most part, what I'm into here is the money. Alright, we have stripped everything down. Let's get those hunks of junk out. Let's see, there's 6 bushings there's 6 items per row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rows of 6 is 32 bushings. And then we need 2 sets of clutches. And the gearboxes, we'll try to repair these and see if we can sell them. Let's see, that's gearbox V12A. It took me a long time to figure out that you could click gearbox right here and it'll show you all the parts that you need. Don't have to filter for them or search for them. I found that super convenient. Okay, so that's a big part of what we need out. Go ahead and leave that there for now. Okay, so I need 4 of each of these. And these we can find by coming here. And we buy 4 of each of the double wishbones. 4 of these and 4 of the, 4 of those, and then the rear stuff. Hopefully that's exactly what I need to make all of these. Okay, and that should be all of those. seems to be, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's one, that's why. Didn't see this one because it's orange and not red. For a second I thought, wait a minute. Okay, now we need 2 complete sets of disc brakes. Okay, what does that get us down to? Tie rods, sway bars, steering racks. That's still a whole lot of stuff to get rid of. So 8 of those bearings. So 8 bearings, 4 front wheel hubs, and 4 rear wheel hub Bs. Rear drive axles don't look like they're in good shape. Yeah, they all look trash. This one might be repairable, but I think I'll just flush them all. What does that get us down to? Knuckles, suspension arms, front axle knuckle covers. These all look like they're trash too. Okay, should be getting into the nitty-gritty here. The orange pieces. All this stuff is potentially repairable, so let's see what we can get out of this. It's not bad. I only saw a couple of things fail. We repaired both of these gearboxes, so that's a nice $850 for each of those. So what do we still need? Knuckle D, 1 knuckle B, 2 knuckle D. Let's see, bottom, upper, and bottom B. It's not too bad. Okay, so we have all the suspension parts done, ready for reinstall. Now we just need to sort out the wheels. Okay, and these are going to be, I want to write down these tires, because there's 8 of them. And I'm going to need 4 of each. So 255, 35, 20. and then the other one is 355 3020. I am grateful that these are all 20-inch wheels. Okay, so the rim that I think works better for these, maybe it's not in the rims DLC, maybe it's one of the modern ones, but it's, where is it? Actually, like this rim Modern 6 this rim Modern 6 wouldn't be bad. But I want to find, I really should make a note of it. Ah, there it is. Rim number 7. Looks kind of like this. So now we'll go paint these things, and it's going to be like, if I remember, it's been a little while since I did one of these, but you want to use like and you want to be something like 45 or so. That's a little bit too light. Can I get it down to like... That's closer. It's not exactly right, but it's close. I think that is all of them. Yeah, that's all of them. Oh, I didn't buy the tires. I probably should have gone with a metallic finish on the rim. The picture of the rim that I saw, it looked, I mean, it wasn't metallic, but it was shiny. So this is not matte. it's not. I didn't want to go I didn't want to go overboard with chrome, trying to get the right color. Plus, I think that the ones that I saw the pictures of had kind of a hint of blue in them. I have to keep experimenting with the color tools in this thing. It's very hard to achieve some colors. Some people have figured it out, but I haven't figured it out yet. I can make basic colors, but I haven't figured out how to make some of the more subtle ones. Okay, so we can flush now the old wheels. Ah, that side got all stuck in there. Has anybody tried that tank mechanic simulator? I've thought about it. It's made by the same company as made this. I've watched some videos on it, and it seems kind of clunky, though. I mean, Car Mechanic Simulator is very smooth, and I thoroughly understand how to do everything. I've watched some people playing the Tank Mechanic Simulator. It seems like a cool idea. I'd be perfectly happy building and selling tanks. But it seems like it wouldn't be as... It doesn't seem like it's as good of a game as this game. That last tire should be done balancing by now. Okay, that's as far as we can go on the back end now until the engine is back in. I like how this is apparently an all-wheel drive vehicle, but there's no connection. There's no drivetrain connection to the front wheels. Of course, there's also no fuel tank in the car either. You know, I actually think that looks right. That looks right compared to what I saw in the picture. I mean, the wheel in the picture had a bunch of other, it had a bunch of like stenciling and stuff on it for, I guess whoever, I forget what it was, but it had a bunch of stenciling and stuff on it about presumably the manufacturer and things like, you know, sport and whatnot. But I do think that the shape and color of this particular rim is pretty close to the real deal. It would be better if it had a little bit of a blue cast to it. I gotta figure out a way to see if I can get some blue into that. But I do think it looks right. We'll see how much these cars are worth once the front ends are in. Remember that they were both $1.8 million when, after we had cosmetically fixed up the cars, you know, fixed up all the body parts and fixed up the interior and the frame. So they were $1.8 million at that point with all of the mechanical parts still junk. So now, since even though the rear end isn't complete and there's no engine in them, I want to see how much they're worth once this part is done, and then we can mash the engines out and get those in and get a final number. Okay, so these are both a long way towards being finished, except that we have the biggest part of the job still to do. Remember that they were both $1.8 million before we took anything off of them. So now they're still still $1.8 million at this point. Yeah, it's the same. I was hoping for something different, but I don't know. I know that the game likes it better when there. I mean, it gives you more of a value even if there's a junk part in there as opposed to nothing. That, it would seem to me that you should get a pretty significant boost in value at that point. At this point. I don't know how complete the other engine is. This one has a fair amount of stuff on it. But everything that I'm taking off right now is garbage. It's all going to just be thrown away. I mean, pretty much all I'm doing, all the stuff that I'm taking apart, pretty much all I'm doing with these is getting to the engine block and the crankshaft. And if I can repair them and reuse them, great. But if I can't, then we'll be building these from the ground up. But I'm going to buy 2 of everything, and which means an absolute buttload of camshaft caps, because none of those are repairable. So I'm going to have to buy, there's like, what, 20 of them per engine, I think? What is it, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Yep. So I'm going to need 40 of these caps. Okay, let's go ahead and process our way through what we've taken off so far. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just going to get 10 of those, and I'm going to buy 24 rod caps. I just bought an extra one, but hey, why not? And I need 40 of these, so let's just buy them now. I know I'm going to need 2 of these oil pans, 2 of these filters. Going to need 24 spark plugs and 24 coils. Also going to need 2 fuel filters. Usually I buy those early, but I didn't buy them early this time. So we need 4 of each of these. That's probably too many. In fact, it's certainly too many. But that's fine. I'd rather have more than I need than not enough. I'm gonna need 2 of those and 8 of that. See, I bought those camshafts, right? So I will need 8 of these cam gears as well. We also are going to need 2 water pumps, 2 serpentine belts, 2 thermostats, 2 of these manifold covers. We're going to need all of the head covers, Probably going to have to buy those. Gotta buy all these timing shoes. Engine head A and B V12. I wanted to make sure of that because the other V12 is for the other. There's two different V12s. There's one for the Tempesta and one for the Zonda. And you want to make sure to not buy the wrong one. Nothing I hate more than spending money I didn't need to spend. Which one was that? Was that A? I think it was. Because I need like 2 of these and 2 of these. And I'm just going to buy one at this point. I'll probably need more of them, but I didn't buy pistons and rings. I need to do that. I still think there should be an animation for throwing pistons straight into the trash. You can't repair them. Or the rings. But a lot of times, when you go through to get rid of the pistons and rings, you're selling them for like $0. Like that one for $0. $3 for that one. $1 for that. What would somebody even do with that? I mean, if somebody's going to pay me $1 for the worn out piston ring, what would they do with it? Probably don't want to know. Okay, let's see if we can repair this thing. Alright. We're able to repair both the block and the crankshaft. That'll save us some time. You know, I thought about it when I was here before. I was like, I need to buy alternators, and I didn't do it. Plus, I knew I needed the power steering pump V12. I didn't buy that either. I'm trying to think ahead. I know there's going to be like the water pump in this engine takes 2 water pump pulleys, plus the crankshaft pulley V8, and I think there's a roller B. Because it's this belt. This one is the timing belt, and this one is the belt that runs the stuff that's attached to the engine. For a while there, I was doing a lot of these Pagani V12s, and I was getting heartily sick of them. And I actually have like 6 Bugatti Chirons in storage that I bought because I know that they sell for $2.5 million. But every time I think about building that many more of these engines, it's like, I want to work on something else. Of course, the Centenario will be a nice payday, which makes it all worthwhile in the end. That's what we do this for, right? So that we can afford to buy boats and houses and whatnot. I don't think I have the front timing cover either for this thing. Yep, no timing cover A. One time I was building one of these and I forgot this timing chain cover that goes up here. And when I put it in the car and the parts condition was like 99% and I could not find it. It was driving me insane. So naturally, of course, from now on, I make absolutely sure to have that thing on there. I knew there was more than one roller. There might even be a belt tensioner as well. I'll get ready for that if there is. I can't remember. Yeah, there is. It goes right there. I should have just gone with my gut. I knew it was there. This is the part that kills me. That this part here with the red can't even talk now. This part with the red air trumpets is like my favorite part of this engine because red is my favorite color. And of course you put it in there and cover it up and you can't see it anymore. It just kills me. If it were me, I would build some kind of assembly jig for this so that I could like mount and place all of these things at once and then go over them with a ratchet while they're all in place rather than doing them one at a time. Of course, you would still have to go over them with the torque wrench and make sure that everything is properly cinched down, but that's a level of tedium that even I wouldn't want to do at this point. Oh, 20 down, 20 to go. Okay, one complete, one to go. And there is significantly less on this engine than there was on the other one. One head, one camshaft. It's got pistons in it. Doesn't have all of them though. I see some holes there. That crankshaft is 32 and the block is 30. I think we'll be able to repair both of them, no problem. Unless, of course, we break one. But no. Excellent. And I think I have darn near everything I need to finish this one. I think I might be missing one of the heads. One of the head covers, rather. But we'll see when we get there. I know I bought 2 of everything else. This is one that I would like them to have a translucent or transparent view so you could run it with these 12 pistons going up and down. I think that would be really neat to be able to see it in action. Because I'm sure none of this stuff is actually animated. I mean, once you button the engine up and you put all the parts on and you run it, it's just sound effects at that point. They don't actually, you know, they aren't animating the pistons going up and down and the crankshaft going around and all that stuff. I would imagine that that's what's happening. I don't know. But I don't think so. I think it will let me put the head cover on at this point, and then I'll know for sure if I have one of these. I'm pretty sure I bought two of the other one, but I repaired. There was one on the other engine that I repaired, and I don't think I bought a second one of that one. It was like head cover A. Nope, I didn't. That's what it looks like with one side complete. You know, I thought I bought too many of those manifolds, but I guess I didn't. I bought 4 of each. I know that there's 2 of them for each engine, so yeah, that's right. Just for a moment I thought I had bought too many of them. Oh, crap. I thought for sure I had bought 2 of them. Clearly not. I really love the look of that thing. It just kills me that you cover it up. You can't see it at all once everything is on. Geez, I didn't buy those either? Those are the bits that I was hesitant about buying before, because a lot of times on junk engines they still come, a lot of times junk engines have at least some of the timing covers on them. and they're usually repairable, and it's worth trying. But in this case, I guess it wasn't going to give them to me. This should do it for this engine, though. Once this belt is on, this one is finished. And we are set. We've just mashed out 2 V12 engines. I'm going to need to buy starters for these as well. At least you can... Oh, look at that. I got excited. I wasn't finished. Well, that would have sucked if I'd have tried to start it like that. I'm just glad you can touch this engine from the outside like this. Like the Chiron, you can't. Although I think I did figure out a way to sort of wiggle in through like the exhaust to be able to touch the engine from the outside. Because otherwise I like had to take the whole back end apart to get in to put oil in the damn thing. Oh, look at that thing. That is looking really, really good. Of course, this is one where the rear drive axle, you notice, doesn't actually connect to the transmission over there. It's just kind of waving in its general direction. I like watching how it settles to the ground. You can see the car shift as it goes down. I think that works really well. I think that I think the next time I do one of these, because I will inevitably find another one in the junkyard, I think I'll try doing these rims but with a chrome finish. I think they look really good like this, but I think it would look better shinier. Alright, so the $1 million question is, how much are they worth now? Well, that's kind of... I really thought they'd be more. 2.3 million. You know what? I think I kind of got gypped here. Well, we'll dyno them real quick. I'm not going to drive them. I've already driven one of these before, and I don't really want to do it again. I just want to test it out and see how it comes up. Junkyard, because people get these cars who don't have any business driving them, and they end up wrecking the hell out of them, so they go to the junkyard where people like me can snap them up. So it looks like together they're going to be about 5 million. Together they were worth about 500 grand when I started. One was 222,000, the other was about 300 and something thousand, so call it about 500 grand for the two. And I spent at least $1 million, 1.2 or so million on body parts. But they're fully done, and let's see, this one has 8,000 miles, the other one has 6,000 miles on it, and we're looking at 2.3 million probably outlaid. I probably paid $200,000 to $300,000 for them in the junkyard, maybe even more than that, because the junkyard tends to be I have a Porsche 959 in the storage that I think I paid $300,000 for in the junkyard. And of course it's a wreck. But I would say, with all the other parts, the body parts on this is the biggest expenditure. So I'm probably up about $1 million or so on each of these cars. This is 2,034,340,000. Exactly the same. I honest to God honestly thought I'd sold a couple of these for $3 million. The price must fluctuate somehow. I don't know. Or maybe it's the fact that I changed the rims from the Pagani rims, because the sizes are the same. I think that maybe the Pagani rims carry a higher premium. I just don't think that they're very attractive. I don't think they suit this car very well. But anyway, it's time for them to go. And we started, if you remember, we started this evening sitting at about $134,000, and now we're at $139,000. So yeah, I just made $5 million on those cars. So that's going to wrap this up. This one I know probably ran a bit longer than usual. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. This one I wanted to do something kind of nice. I wanted to do something kind of special for this one, because honestly I never imagined I would make it to 100 episodes. But here's to 100 more. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again for our next Junkyard adventure. So on that note, bye for now.